To paraphrase one of my favorite sports tubers on this platform, congratulations, Watcher! You have actually completed one of the most drastic fall from graces on this godforsaken platform. It's been nearly a week, Watcher, and it looks like your little retirement scheme didn't really go as planned. I don't really blame you. Retiring from something as grandiose as the red and white play button is quite difficult nowadays, but it is indeed possible. Though, it is also quite difficult when your supposed retirement decision involves you committing abandonment on a scale so massive that you were basically heading to the convenience store to buy some milk. Wait, you actually came back from the store? With some milk? You actually did something good for once in your life? How incredible! You're also a good 25 years too late. You missed my elementary, high school, and college graduations, plus my marriage and my divorce. So thank you for nothing. In all seriousness, I am not the first person talking about this saga, and I'm certainly not the last. I'm basically just a stat. Though, considering the huge outcry of negative and critical feedback and the videos posted in relation to such feedback, maybe that isn't really a bad thing. Here's the thing though, unlike some other YouTubers talking about this shitfest, I've known about the Watcher trio for a while now. And by a while, I mean I remember when Stephen Lim was practicing free throws, Ryan Bergara was getting cup therapy, and Shane Madej was in the backseat reading chicken trivia, whilst also saying chicken watch 2K15. We all gotta start somewhere, I guess. Which is why what transpired over the past week or so might just be one of the biggest examples of self-assassination on YouTube in quite some time. A sudden betrayal of trust that was just as off-guard as it was completely asinine, especially when you consider that according to Goodbye YouTube, their channel's main philosophy when it came to content was to not prioritize going viral. Well, let's just say that if you one day decide to upload a video in which you want to ask your fanbase money for viewing content that was previously free, but now must be accessed under a paywall, despite the fact that you have a Patreon specifically designed for financial support, and then combine that with the subsequent deletion of said content because of said paywall, all so that it can be viewed on a service in a market that is both oversaturated and for most, financially unsustainable, then whether you like it or not, you're going to get viral. And viral they did. Tons of videos, denouncing the once good name that was Watcher Entertainment, a name that was partially inspired by an unsolved stalker case. Priorities. Obviously, due to the massive amount of shit that they put amongst themselves, they ended up releasing a actually solid, to the point, apology video. Though, considering the very mixed reactions that it would later receive, maybe we should put asterisks on the words solid and to the point. Perhaps what's even more hilarious about this entire predicament was that this was actually predicted beforehand by their own fans, specifically over on Watcher's very own subreddit. For me at least though, the most interesting dilemma about this entire saga, besides the attempted abandonment of a channel and subsequent fanbase, besides the fact that they didn't even ask said fanbase about their decision prior to making it public, and besides the fact that this drama apparently occurred prior to a live show hosted by the Watcher trio, is the mass imbalance of hate directed towards our trio, and in particular, the hate towards Stephen Lim, the CEO of Watcher. Now from what I can gather, most of this hate stems from how Stephen Lim supposedly has the most power between our trio. He also wanted to create a show dedicated to traveling the world and eating expensive shit, thus blasting copious amounts of money, as well as for circumstantial comments made by him about how he was apparently friends with racist and homophobic people.
It's hard to really read into this because I have a lot of friends who are a little bit racist and a little bit homophobic, and I'm still friends with them.
I also noticed that most of this hate is being given by people who I would consider to be a part of Watcher's core audience, or at least I assume they would be, given how their aim is strictly towards Steven, and not so Ryan and Shane. A far cry from other comments and videos posted in relation to this saga, whom I would also assume to be made by people who did not know about Watcher's existence prior to this whole charade. They in turn spread the blame not just to Steven, but to Ryan and Shane as well, whilst also basing this blame on factors including an overinflated staff count and overproduced, over-budgeted content, the latter of which was deemed bad both financially and aesthetically. Look, Ryan and Shane might have a personality that might be more people-pleasing than Steven's. That reason alone is perhaps the biggest reason as to why they haven't been nailed as hard. And while the roasts are funny, they also don't know me, they don't know you, and they give two shits about us besides what's in our wallet. Ryan and Shane were still part of both main videos in this saga. They sounded just as egotistical and unsympathetic in the Goodbye YouTube video, and while in the apology vid, Ryan looked teary-eyed and Shane looked like he just realized he ate his pet parrot, that doesn't change the fact that they were still down with this decision. And yet we're still creating a scapegoat in a situation that really shouldn't have one? Yes, because fuck Stephen Lim. Apparently. At this point into the drama, I honestly have no idea what happens next, but what I do know is that reputations have been fractured and legacies have been created. Watcher has just become a case study, a laughingstock, and a household name. Because no way in hell are households playing their content for the foreseeable future. Considering how these guys were being labeled as greedy and for killing their careers, the fact that they've only lost 100,000 subscribers or something or other is pretty darn miraculous considering what they were trying to achieve. And yet, my pessimistic brain can only spew out the thought that this drama is going to be dead within a month's time. These guys are going to upload content, whilst also still being meme material for a couple of months, and then be forgotten about just as quickly. To sum up then, Watcher tried to alienate their fanbase, only for them to be alienated themselves. And while the lessons learned in this saga are actually pretty valuable, considering how these are also rules of common sense and for the most part are being followed to a T, means that we've learned nothing. But thank you for watching.
Little blue guy. When it comes down to it, end of the day, why not? That should be our slogan. Why not?